tremendously exciting day today for Texas basketball. This has been a lengthy process, and I think has puzzled everyone as to why we didn't hire someone any quicker than we did. But I had my sights set on Tina Thompson, and it was an exciting process to get her to consider Texas, and one that I really feel like, and I told the staff this, we've worked really, really hard in the last 3 years on recruiting, but this might be the best recruiting job we've done so far. Just her accolades obviously speak for themselves, and she is a tremendously successful person that I think is going to thrive at the University of Texas. I think her mindset about the way that you run your business, so to say, is exactly like we try to do things here, but also it's the type of mindset that you can tell it is the reason why she's successful. She takes everything very seriously, and her approach to everything is one of a champion. So I think she's going to rub off extremely quickly on our players, and will be instrumental in our program moving forward.
I'm really excited to be here. I mean, Coach is right, it's a very exciting day for all of us, and I have to kind of, I guess, touch on the whole recruiting process. I don't think the tough recruiting job was getting me to come to Texas. I think that the recruiting came in getting me to coach, like, in general. I didn't foresee myself being in this situation. I was very comfortable just kind of coaching the club girls that I was coaching and just helping them in any way I can and watching them grow. I mean, it was very rewarding. But in talking to Coach Aston, she changed my mind a lot in her vision and how she runs her team here, but the passion that she has about the young ladies and wanting to see them grow. And it wasn't just from a basketball perspective, it was from a perspective of building young ladies and seeing them grow and them to continue to grow and be successful beyond basketball and kind of be true to the tradition of being at the University of Texas in general. And we are like-minded in the sense that, you know, how we approach not just the game, but in life, and approaching it in a way that you give your absolute best in any situation that you can. And I think in women's basketball, we've kind of gotten away from that a little bit. And the way the game has grown and social media and so much attention that we're getting, we're forgetting about the work and what's necessary to happen before the lights are kind of turned on. And we share that in doing the work, and you kind of don't find the success unless you do the work. It's just kind of simple math in that way. So she convinced me, and I'm really excited that I took the chance in coming down here and meeting with Coach Mays as well as Coach Washington and getting to know the staff. And it worked almost right away, like the chemistry and just the like personalities and the goals that everyone has here is very similar to kind of how I've pursued and worked to get to the point that I am now. So I'm really excited to just kind of dive in and get to working on what we see and what we have in front of us.
She tapped on the fact that she had been working in the Houston area with several young people in a club team in general, and also had been doing some mentoring and training individually with some players. And I think in this business sometimes you make moves because people find out about your work through word of mouth, and most often it is through the young people. So when I kept hearing, and again, we didn't have a position open when I was hearing about her, but when it came open, it dawned on me this was someone that I had been hearing a lot about from the young people and from the parents. And I've seen her work. I've seen the work that she's done individually with some players, and you just realize that this business is really about relationships. And if you have someone that you think can relay a certain skill or relay a way of doing things that can help them be successful, that's really what the business is all about. So it really was a no-brainer, especially after I met her and had a chance to visit with her.
I actually hadn't heard that she was considering me. Actually, one of the recruits that you guys have here is kind of one of my kids, and I've had a long relationship with her, and Jordan Hosey. And initially when Coach called me, I thought that that's what she was just kind of calling me about, to just kind of, just see the progress and where she was, or she actually complimented, me on some of the things that Jordan had improved on and where she was headed. So that's basically what I thought the conversation was about. And then we just kind of started having a basketball conversation just about his history and just kind of the present state of the game. And then that's when she kind of broke it to me. I was silent for a little while because I was a little shocked. Like, did she just say what I think she said? And then, I kind of sat there and she's like, well, I don't need an answer right now. There's definitely some getting to know that needs to happen in us, familiarizing ourselves with one another. And, we continued to talk for quite a bit. We were on the phone for a little while, and then we arranged to meet. And then I guess it was kind of, all she wrote from there. I was a little hesitant. I'm going to be totally honest, just because, you kind of make plans for yourself and things that you see happening for you in your future. But, sometimes I guess God laughs a little bit when you make plans for yourself, and the plans that he has for you are the complete and utter opposite. But I knew it had a little bit to do with divine intervention, and the fact that it wasn't something that I had thought about at all. But then when I got here, everything just kind of fell into place. There were so many familiar faces first, but also the like minds, and just kind of how we see the game and how we pursue success and work ethic. There was so much familiarity that it was kind of like overwhelming in a sense. And even when I left, I was just like, did that really just happen like that, like so easily? And then, you have time to let things settle in. And I was like, there's no reason for me to continue to fight it. Like, this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm one of those kind of people that I say when you work, good things happen. When you have the intentions of getting in and putting in the time and work, you can't help but have success and find your way. Like, literally, it absolutely starts with the work. The familiarity is, I'm familiar with my kids. I was just focusing on the kids that were right in front of me. Of course, in process, you see a lot of kids in competition that you're playing against, and you become familiar. But, again, my focus again is my new set of girls, the ones that are right in front of me, the ones that I immediately am able to touch and conversate and have an impact on. And that's my focus right now. All the other things will come into place. Of course, the recruiting. Basketball is something that comes very natural and is easy for me to talk about. I have a 9-year-old myself, so I'm very familiar with a lot of things that go on with young people. So I'm excited. I have no fear at all. I think it's something that, if I work at, I'll become pretty good at it. I always want to do well or be the best that I absolutely can at whatever it is that I'm setting my mind to do. I'm going to work, just like the kids. We have 3 freshmen that are coming in, and, I'm a freshman myself, in this position. So, we're all kind of starting at the same time, and we're working. So I'm going to be learning and teaching at the same time, and, I'm okay with that. So much of what we're doing or what we're going to do just kind of falls right into place of what I've basically been doing all my life. I think the things that I'm probably a little anxious about, or maybe a little nervous, are the rules, the NCAA regulations. It's a whole lot of them, so I'm definitely going to have to do a lot of studying. But the basketball stuff and, getting to know our kids is something that I definitely think will come pretty easy.
By the time she learns the rules, they'll change them.
For sure. It didn't really weigh much in just my decision. It definitely helps when you're kind of ahead of the curve, when you're trying to reach a certain goal. So it seems like we're halfway there already to the ultimate goal of being a prominent program again and winning a national championship. Recruiting is a big part of it, and the staff has done a great job in just recruiting and getting in great kids with an unbelievable work ethic, but also a high level of talent. So when you have talent, it makes it a little easier, but at the same time, you still have to work.
Well, I think this was a huge home run, and just because of the total package. I think the ability for her to connect with young people is a given. I've seen that with the young ones that she's interacted with and their responses back when you ask about her. Her ability to understand a high level of competition is a given. Anytime you look at the things that she has accomplished and her accolades, then you know that she knows how to reach at a completely different level than most know how to reach. And The third part is just her ability to teach the game. We've talked a lot about it. That's been part of our conversation is, her having the ability to impact on the floor. One part that I really didn't think about at all during our conversations, because it's just now beginning to happen, is the changes that could occur and most likely will occur in our game, which is going to the four quarters, which I'm really interested in picking her brain with that, because she's just been removed from the WNBA and they play the four quarters, and it is a different philosophy. So I'm anxious to hear her take on some of that, and she'll have great input from it. But, and again, not to discredit anything Jaylee did, but some of the qualities, because she was tremendous, some of the qualities were really, really critical for me, that when Jaylee left, that we replaced those qualities, and so many of those had to do with relationships and mentorship. And those are the things that we really see eye to eye on tremendously, is that this is a place where you really need to help young people grow. And Tina is, you see her smile and you see her shake her head when we talk about that, because it's important to her. And that's where the whole package comes in, because I think she can add so much in each area.
I really didn't take very many visits that went further than I think maybe Washington. So I was definitely, I wanted to stay close to my family, so I didn't consider much. I did get a lot of letters. I didn't open many of them just because I didn't want to be swayed in any way. But I'm very familiar with Coach Conrad, and she is one of our pioneers and great in this game, and she's done so much. So, hopefully, I know that our work ethic will match the fact that we're trying to get to the point in which she had this program. Hopefully we'll reach it, but that's definitely our goal. She has done some tremendous things, not just here at Texas, but just for women's basketball in general. Fran Harris was one of my teammates in Houston, and again, she's a basketball mind, a student of the game. Her intelligence just in general is one that is rare, in a sense that she is definitely a scholar, but tough basketball player. So she is definitely bred the Texas way. So it's good to have that familiar face and just that camaraderie that we shared in playing and winning championships together. So the mindset and the tools and everything we need to get back to that point is here as a staff. We just have to work at it. It's the work, in my opinion, that gets you to that point. And without that, it'll be very hard, no matter how much talent you have. So we're starting with the work, and then I feel that everything else will come into place. I'm very familiar. I live right in Houston, so I'm really familiar with just kind of Texas sports, and for sure women's basketball. It's something that's close to my heart, and I'm familiar with a lot of the girls just because I've seen them in process. We have a lot of Texas girls here on the team, so I know basically what they bring, but from a detail perspective, it's going to take a little work on my part, just kind of getting familiar with each one individually, and then just finding out what we need to get better.